DreamHack winter has come and gone, and we're left with some new champions and a healthy amount of controversy. We'll discuss that, a bloody Call of Duty player, and the number of people who watch the League of Legends World Championship. Hint, it's a lot. I'm John Reisinger, and with me as always are Meg Turney and the Daily Dot's Jared Wynne. Hello, everybody.
Oh, hi.
Here's what you need to know.
The biggest event of the weekend was the $250,000 Counter-Strike tournament that headlined DreamHack. The competition featured the world's best Counter-Strike teams battling it out for $100,000 first place prize. In the end, former major champions Ninjas in Pajamas were able to make a return to the grand final, where they were beaten up by the up-and-coming French side LDLC. Jared, what stood out as a good moment from the tournament? Just a good one, not a great one, just good.
Only one.
Probably the way they beat them up. They just beat the shit out of them.
There's actually no...
They dragged them behind the arena and they just beat the hell out of them.
Mice around in the air, just smacking them.
Keyboards were smashed over people's heads.
In home road. Does that ever happen? Has anybody ever had like a fist fight on like a grand final stage?
I'm going to take it from your expression of like a fight.
What?
Not like the grand finals.
Touch each other?
Before the finals, maybe. No,
really?
Hand slap fights. Oh. Not real fights. It's like, I hate the way you play this game. You're so mean. Like that. Yeah, just like that.
I love it.
You know, it's Sweden.
I would love to see
What is
two
that?
esports
I think Sweden's actually a very like...
It is, but when they're not eating chocolate, they just tend to have hand slap fights. You know, it's kind of like the national pastime.
You know, for a second there, my brain had to figure out, is Sweden the one that eats chocolates or not? It still hasn't registered.
It's actually not, but you know, within the lore of the leaderboard,
right.
It kind of is.
Right.
Leaderboard
John
lore.
makes up.
Yeah, I'm here for making up
We need
stuff.
a wiki now for
all the things that we say on the leaderboard.
list of countries that erroneously have been cited eating chocolate.
Korea. You've said
I said Sweden.
Korea.
That's all I ever said.
Spain was also in there.
You
at some
have
point.
perpetuated the rest of them, okay?
So anyway, LDLC looked really good at
Yeah.
this event. They've kind of taken the throne now, left behind by a Fnatic, who we'll get to in a bit. This was the first event for Ninjas in Pajamas with a new lineup, by which I mean a lineup that doesn't have Fiflaurin in it, and instead is Michaelele, who has a great name.
Good.
Fiflaurin to Lele.
From one name to another.
You're happy they at least kept the good name involved in the
Yeah.
mix. Yeah, Michaelele is a dedicated sniper, which is something that the team did not have before. I like the look of them with a dedicated sniper. I think it's a good look. You know, they're not going to reach their previous level of dominance just because the total amount of competition is so high now. You can't win like 82 games in a row with the amount of top teams you have playing at this level anymore. LDLC could be on top for a while. Happy had a great coming out tournament. He played really well. Shox is known as kind of the star for LDLC, but I think Happy's a great player. Everyone on the team did really well, though. This is a very versatile lineup that they have, so they could be on top-ish for a while. I don't think any team is going to win like every single tournament they go to.
Top-ish.
Yeah,
Top-ish.
but they could be a top 3 team for
the
some
top-ish
time. As long as
team.
they're not a big letdown.
Michaelele, is that his name?
Michaelele.
Michaelele. How good is he at throwing grenades? Because I know that was a big specialty for Fiflaurin.
Well, that's your opinion, and if you want to talk shit about,
Somebody
Fiflaurin,
wind back the tape. Wind back the tape, kids. Follow the money. He said it.
Hey, we don't have a wiki yet, so if it's not on the wiki, I don't believe it.
All right,
that's my
fair
internet,
enough.
my internet truthing.
I'm just
thing.
gonna make I'm gonna make a wiki.
We're back to our typing now. Slapping.
Now, the event was not without controversy. Before meeting Ninjas in Pajamas, LDLC would do battle with Fnatic in the quarterfinal. Fnatic had been under intense scrutiny due to suspicions that some players on the team might have cheated, and that scrutiny only grew when the team chose to take advantage of an illegal exploit in a decisive game against LDLC. Jared, walk us through what happened. What was the exploit?
So it didn't look like an exploit at first. It looked like just a normal boost. You can jump on a player's head and get boosted up to a higher area than you normally reach. That's not a big deal. Fnatic used the boost to put a sniper at a really high area where they could look over walls, and actually you can see through a wall at one point. That's a pretty nice advantage, but not necessarily illegal. However, when you go into the map editor for the map...
so looking actually over a wall and through walls, that's not the illegal part?
Looking through,
it's a ledge,
looking
right?
through walls is illegal, actually, but we didn't know at the time that
he was looking through a wall.
that you could, at least, you know. So when you look at the map editor of the map overpass that was played, you can see there's no ledge on which to jump to get that boost going, which means they had to use something called pixel walking, which is the use of a bug to get up to a higher point, which is illegal. So for that reason, LDLC, who were playing Fnatic, filed a dispute with them. Then Fnatic disputed the dispute that LDLC filed, basically.
Like,
Please.
So then what happened?
Wouldn't it be very clear that some guy is standing on nothing, like, during the match? Like,
Well,
how
it was
do you...
unclear because it looks like there's a textured ledge there, so it looks like there's a ledge there. But when you go into the map editor, it's smooth wall. There's nothing there. to
How
jump on.
quickly is that dispute filed? Like, do they know off the top of their head what the level editor says, or are there other people helping them figure that out?
LDLC didn't even know where the guy was boosted to. They were just getting shot. It was crazy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, Fnatic were seeing where they were going. They were getting shot without any idea. It wasn't until like the 26th round or so of 30 in regulation that LDLC figured out what was going on. So it changed the entire. They had a big lead at halftime. It changed the entire complexion of the match. That's why it was such a big deal. So the dispute was a big deal. DreamHack ordered the match replayed.
Wow. So they just start from the beginning?
Yeah, they were going to, and then Fnatic withdrew from the tournament rather than playing the replay match because they said we want to preserve like the niceness of the event. We don't want to drag it through the mud. But they had already dragged the tournament through the mud.
Look. We cheated, but we don't want to drag anything through the mud.
Yeah, so this happened, and then they've been under such scrutiny. Players like Flusha,
Right. We were talking about this before the show.
They've been under such scrutiny for potentially cheating. There's been word that maybe the sponsors who fund Fnatic were kind of like, you guys are kind of getting a gnarly name right now. We don't really want you to push this any further.
So they were on
forward.
scrutiny before doing this pixel walking exploit.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how gutsy they are, is that they were already under scrutiny and they're like, we might be able to get away with it.
And they actually asked someone who found this not to publicize it so that they could use it just themselves. So, I mean, people's opinions of this team have been fluctuating, let's say, over the past
now
few
it's got to
weeks.
be bad.
Well, it's gotten even worse. I mean, we were talking before the show about Flusha, who tweeted a bunch of stuff where he called the community a fucking joke and said, you guys are
Always a good call.
assholes. Yeah, always a good call
Always a
to
good
fight
call.
the
Yeah.
fan that
Yeah.
feeds you.
Yeah.
And I was trying to tell Jared, I was watching videos where people were like supposedly, he's the one they've singled out from that team that like supposedly cheats. I cannot tell. I'm like, did I miss it? Where was that cheat I was supposed to see? You have to be so in tune with the game to be able to pick out.
There have been multiple professional players, a few of them on the record and several more off the record, who have said this guy absolutely cheats. I'm not saying for sure that he does because he has not been officially caught. There's been no hard evidence. He hasn't been VAC banned or anything like that. But there have been a number of professional players, his peers, who say, yeah, absolutely, this guy's not legit. So you take it as you would like to take that.
Yeah, his number one defense was, well, I've never been officially caught. I saw on his Twitter was like, I've never been officially
Someone
caught.
murdering someone, like, I haven't been caught murdering anyone yet.
Yeah,
I didn't do it, but if I did, here's how I would have cheated.
if you didn't get caught doing it, you didn't happen.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule.
Yeah.
That's the golden rule, actually.
Yeah.
Whatever you thought the golden rule was before, you're wrong. It's that one.
It's actually, if you didn't get caught, it didn't
You
happen.
didn't get caught, it didn't
Rule.
happen.
All right. On that note, other results from DreamHack included a StarCraft 2 victory for Park 4GG Jisoo, a Hearthstone tournament win for Alexander Kolento Mausch, and a Dota 2 title for Evil Geniuses.
Riot announced recently that 27 million people watched the 2014 World Championship for League of Legends. Concurrent viewership peaked at over 11 million during the final as Samsung Galaxy White beat Starhorn Royal Club in a lopsided series. The overall number of views is down a little bit from last year, but engagement, or the average time that people spent actually watching the final, was up significantly from 42 minutes to 67. More than an hour. That's awesome. Jared, what do you make of these numbers?
It's awesome. It's a lot of people watching League of Legends, watching esports in general. It shows the reach of this stuff. You know, it shows how quickly it's growing. One thing that Riot does not talk about here is the split regionally of these viewers. A lot of them probably are in Asia, specifically Korea and China. How much of this is in the Western audience range, we don't know exactly. Probably not a big chunk of it, but certainly still very popular in the West. We saw the DreamHack final was watched by more than 500,000 concurrent viewers. That's pretty good. And that was just in the West. There was like 10,000 in China watching it, so pretty big difference there. League of Legends is definitely more popular there than Counter-Strike. It just shows how big this stuff is, how big these things are growing. These are great numbers that any professional sports league would aspire to for their finals. Not any of them, obviously the Super Bowl, I think, does pretty good numbers.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it
people
does better
watch
than this. But, more generally speaking, these are great numbers for any sporting live, any kind of live event, actually, not just sporting event. So, yeah, this is good stuff, and it just shows where this is all going and where it's been and where it will go.
Right.
And is going.
People watch events where those that you classify as athletes, so around the same as the people that we feel are esports.
Yeah, I mean, Meg and I agree that these guys are, they get athlete visas, they practice hard, they put in, they get paid a lot of money to do what they're doing.
They do.
It's a shame that not everyone here
Not
sees
everyone
them as
respects
athletes.
them like John
but,
Weisinger.
Yeah, I mean, I respect them. I know Meg respects
Thank
these
you, I
guys.
do.
Yeah, and then John,
It's really important to us.
It's a real
yeah.
shame. It's a real shame. Major League Gaming broke
I
in
wanted
their
it to be
new
my
esports.
script so you couldn't get out of it.
Major League Gaming broke in their new esports arena in Columbus, Ohio over the weekend. The venue played host to the first open professional tournament for the latest Call of Duty title, Advanced Warfare. The newly formed Dream Team, OpTic Gaming, made an impressive run to the final, but their hopes of making good on their full potential were cut short by Team FaZe. Led by an injured Patrick Aches Price, FaZe beat OpTic Gaming and claimed their second title in as many months. Let's talk about the irony behind an injured player called Aches.
Yeah, we could talk about that. Or we could talk about what happened to him.
No, this is more interesting.
We really need to dissect why this is funny to me.
How was he injured?
What about his opponents trying to cut his hopes short, but then all they did is cut his hand, not his hopes?
How did he get hurt?
That's a
You
great
wouldn't
laugh.
tell us in the practice, so I'm excited to. I just saw a lot of photos.
Because we don't know what happened.
Ooh, mysterious.
It's a total mystery. He could have been driving a car with a saw blade for a steering wheel.
I mean, it's the outside of his thumb, and it was like all stitched up.
Yeah, it looked pretty gnarly. He had some big stitches in there. He had like a stack of towels next to him in case his hand exploded during the match. Because he's playing with a controller, you know, and he's getting into it, as you do when you're a professional player.
That's your face when you get into playing.
Like the episode
Yeah.
of Bob's Burgers.
This is my face when I do a couple things, actually.
Cast whenever you're playing anything. Oh, there is face. There he goes. He's into it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's always my into it face. When I'm driving, when I'm, you know, whatever.
I just love that.
Like that. That's good. Yeah.
So, he played with a cut open hand. Is that not an athlete?
An athlete would do that.
An athlete would do that.
He played injured, John.
He did.
Yeah, he played through an injury.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
Have you ever played through an injury?
I think I have maybe on occasion.
Maybe, well, like play the bassoon through an injury, maybe. But not,
I never
not
played the bassoon.
Not an
I wasn't in
That
band.
would also be impressive. He doesn't
I'd be
do
very
that.
impressed. You know, I know some people aren't impressed with band members
Yeah.
either. I
Thank
know
you.
that's
Yeah, somebody over here said
Some
band
people
members.
aren't. You know,
Yeah.
it's just some
Not
people.
impressive.
What does impress you? Chocolate eating? Is that more your
Clearly.
thing? If
Athletic
you know what I
chocolate
mean.
Mispronouncing names.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are difficult to pronounce it. Yeah, that too. So anyway, yeah, he plays the tournament with like a stack of towels in case his hand explodes in blood and plasma.
Plasma too.
Yeah,
The other
well,
team.
that's the clear stuff, you know, that comes out of the wound whenever it's healing.
Thank you.
Fun fact.
Blood facts. Leaderboard.
I like that. Fun fact.
Yeah.
for
Can you do
you.
that with your concentrating face?
I can't.
Wait,
No.
I want to know why he didn't tell anyone what happened. Like, why is it so mysterious?
I think he likes the mystery. He just posts a picture, like, well, whenever he was in the hospital, he posted a picture of him like with a tag on his wrist and not saying what happened. He just like,
he's
worst
one of
night ever, or
them.
something like that, you know. And he's got the selfie of the tag in the hospital, like, what happened to him?
He does
No
play
one
Call
knows.
of Duty, guys.
Yeah, and he has a bunch of followers, so I mean,
We know.
he can tease his audience.
They love the build
Just
up.
tease some reactions out of it. Tease it out.
Tease it up.
Tease it out.
Tease it up. Tease
Tease
it
it
up.
out. Like
I
a
don't know
snake
what's
charmer would
happening.
do.
Of course you don't.
I
Of
don't.
course
Are
you
snake
don't.
charmers
I don't.
athletes, John?
Or who?
Snake
Nobody.
charmers.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm asking you.
interesting.
I don't know.
I'm asking
Leave your thoughts
opinion.
about what John thinks about esports
Please.
players not being athletes in the comments
All
down
the
below.
comments.
Yes,
Bring all the
and snake
comments.
charmers, band
They're probably
members.
just going to agree with you. And we're going to be assholes.
Well, that's it for the leaderboard
go.
this week. Join Meg and Ashley for the Know-It-All on Friday on the Rooster Teeth channel, where they'll bring you all the biggest news stories of the week in one shot.
And for all the best in video games and entertainment, make sure you click like and subscribe, and we'll keep you in the know on this channel. And also, we'll see you next week for more Leaderboard. GG, kids.
GG.